Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalked me. That's why I moved.
No, just
leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
and leave me alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you again. I don't ever want to hear your voice, see you. Please, God bless you, but please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Stop following me.
You won't call the cops.
Stop stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalked me. That's why I moved.
Just
leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
and leave me alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you again. I don't ever want to hear your voice, see you. Please, God bless you, but please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Stop following me.
You won't call the cops.
Stop stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalked me. That's why I moved.
Just
leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
and leave me alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you again. I don't ever want to hear your voice, see you. Please, God bless you, but please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Stop following me.
You won't call the cops.
Leave me alone. I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone.
Hey, men, leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them, especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to. But even when they're not, unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumb ass, then leave her the fuck alone. Find a date a different way. Okay? It's not clever. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage behavior. And you're a garbage person if you do it. I don't care if it's in public. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't have the right to her, and you need to leave her alone. And this is Bacon.
That's okay. I don't care.
Leave me alone.
All you want.
Hi, this is Cynthia Ortiz, and we have to do now a third Stalker podcast. This is the Charles Perry, Dave Robertson, Matt Powell, Josh Burson, Joe Chadwick, Calvin Stalker podcast. I have a whole crew after me. It is 12:44 in the morning, if you can believe that. They just kind of go out nonstop. So we do the disclaimer, use allegedly. Nobody's been convicted in a court of law yet. Use the but for and reasonable, prudent individual standard. And we assert all constitutional rights, including and especially the First Amendment. We have the right to tell if somebody's hurting us and breaking the law. We have the right to tell if we're being harassed, if we're, we've got somebody that decided they are entitled to break the law and hurt us, and then demand we lie about it. Mr. Perry believes that he's entitled. He's got a welfare mentality, or whatever you want to call that. I've heard him call it that, welfare mentality. You pay the consequences. I heard him jump on somebody about that in a speech in front of everybody. We all heard it. A whole room full of people heard him say, if you make a mistake, you pay the consequences, and you're not entitled to anything. So, you're not entitled to welfare. You're not entitled to anything. You make a mistake, you pay for it. So I've heard him himself say that, but of course he has one set of rules for himself and a different for everyone else. He can break the law. We're all supposed to lie for him. And if you break the law, you're going to pay for it, and then some. And that's not how that works. In fact, this man right here has expressed disgust with, this other man, Neil's behavior. He's saying it's not okay to act like that. Society has said, we're not okay with it. This is not cool, what you're doing to this woman. She said no. She doesn't have to like you. You're not entitled to be liked. My coworker said, it's not my responsibility to make you like him and not Fabian. It sounds like Fabian's the better guy. If it's me, I'm liking Fabian too. I had I had my friends in Lubbock that more than once said if I would give anything to have someone, a relationship like you have with Daryl, I would give anything to have someone be so kind to me and so good to me like he was, and treat me right and have that kind of a relationship the way that you two do. I would call Daryl if I was happy. I'd call Daryl if I was sad. Daryl and I did everything together for a long time. So it was, to have your friends say that I'd kill to have a relationship like that. then that means that person was good for you and they're happy for you, and it's the proper way that things should be going. And for you to have someone else pull you in the bathroom and say, what's wrong with this individual who has come here to my work and said he's going to put you in jail if you don't decide you like him, and I'm supposed to help. I don't want to help with either one. I don't want to help you I don't want to make you like him. That's his job. And if he's a desirable human being, he will be a likable person. You won't have to be made, and you won't have to go see your coworkers behind your back and say shit like that. That is the weirdest thing I've ever heard. And then try to find a way to lock her up if she refuses. Who the fuck does that? Her telling me, Mr. Perry, was her saying, no, this is society saying we're not okay with what you're doing. By the way, it's illegal. You do all this stuff that's illegal, and you act like you don't know that it's illegal. Do you not know? I mean, everybody's really getting tired of us having to repeat the same thing over and over. So we apply those two, but for things like that happening to me all the time in the state of Oklahoma where I live. I came here to get away from Mr. Perry. I have gone through temporary discomforts with the belief that it will provide or produce the permanent situation where Mr. Perry's not in my life anymore at all. And there's two ways that can happen. Either I get a judge to give me a protective order and he can't contact me. Or, I mean, I had one job to do, and that was get him elected. That's over. Long over with. 8 years over with. 12 years over with. I've lived in, I left Lubbock 8 years ago, almost a decade ago. This has not been something that I refused unwanted male attention. I'm not in love with Charles Perry. He disgusts me. Everyone knows that. You don't go through all this trouble to get away from someone and have temporary discomforts like, do I eat or do I buy a law book? Do I eat or do I the guy's always taking my money. It's economic abuse. It's common with domestic violence cases, and he does it. And Dave does it. Calvin does it. They've been trying to take my car. So when you guys have a leak or you have a court order where a judge said, I'm giving you permission to listen to what they say because I think they're dangerous. That is society telling you we're not okay with this. It's wrong. It's illegal. It's inappropriate. We're not okay with it. It's not cool. And you're being stopped. That's why I find out beforehand, not after. That is someone saying you're not going to do this to her. It's not okay. When you're recorded talking to my landlord, that was society. Whoever told us that or gave us that, whether it be a judge or a leak, that person is saying we're not okay with this. This is not okay. Society is not cool with what you're doing. That society said that when they made it illegal for you to do what you're doing. And you act like you guys can't figure that out, and you're old. You ought to know. People are not comfortable with what you're doing. And basically what that is people telling you the same thing that was being screamed at Derek Chauvin. Please stop. And you're traumatizing everybody watching. And they're telling you it's not okay when they leak. Whether it's a leak or a judge that signed a court order that said it's fine for you to listen to them and invade their privacy because these people are dangerous. Everyone knows I go back to Texas, I'm dead. And you think nobody would suspect you did anything? You had anything to do with it? It doesn't matter actually where I live. I end up dead. You're the first person everybody's going to think of because you have tried so hard to put me down. And everyone knows that. You're not fooling anyone. So this is how people... okay, let me go back to... I assert all constitutional rights, the First Amendment being, it's fine if I say what you're doing to me. That's not a crime. It's fine to reject a man you don't like. Everybody has rejected you, Mr. Perry, when you're told on that's what that is. I don't have friends coming to me going, what a great guy. I wish I had a relationship with my guy like you have with him. My friends are telling on you. People I know are telling on you. We're not okay with this. Society is pushing you back and telling you this is not okay. It's wrong. It's inappropriate. We're not comfortable with it. So somebody's got to tell Cindy. Somebody's got to get this guy stopped, or she's going to end up dead. And we're not okay with that. So this guy is not the only one. You have people around you that are not comfortable with what you're doing. They're disturbed by it, sir. They're disturbed with your conversations with my landlord. They're disturbed with the amount of money you have taken out of my pocket. and my wallet. And when I go to court and endure a temporary discomfort, I'm gonna skip food so that I can make copies and mail it and get a judge to order me something that will make these people stay away from me and stop taking my money and stop taking my privacy and stop robbing and ruining and destroying people's lives. People are pushing back, and that's why you're told on, and you don't seem to get that. And at your age, you really should. You really should be able to put that together. Violating a woman's privacy is disgusting, Mr. Perry. It is not sexy. It is not hot. You're told on. You've never been told on before, have you? But you are now. You know why that is? Society is pushing you back and saying, no, you are being stopped. Please stop, sir. We're not okay with this. It's like this guy.
Leave me alone! Please!
Just talk to me for 2 minutes.
First, let me say that I'm happy that the lady in this video is okay. Second, let me break down what rape culture is. Rape culture is the fact that that man felt that he was entitled to some of this woman's time just because he said, let me talk to you for 2 minutes. Doesn't matter if it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes. If she said no, no means no. Rape culture is the comments that she has on her video about how she should have just spoke to him or dressed differently. Rape culture is me taking the heat for calling out other men for their terrible behavior. Rape culture is trying to explain stuff as, oh, it's just locker room talk. No, it's not locker room talk. You should talk the same way wherever you are. We all know that rape is not about sex, it's about power. So for you to force yourself on somebody, even if you're just talking to them, is disgusting, dude.
Leave me alone! Leave me alone. I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Leave me alone! Please!
Just talk to me for 2 minutes and I'll leave you alone.
Oh, God. It's too damn early for this shit. Leave me alone.
How do you dress like this? What are you a prostitute? I'm serious.
Sir, please leave.
That's okay. I don't care.
Leave me alone.
All you want.
I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Leave me alone. Please.
Just talk to me for 2 minutes and I'll leave you alone.
Oh, God. It's too damn early for this shit. Leave me alone.
How do you dress like this? What are you a prostitute? I'm serious.
Sir, please leave.
That's okay. I don't care.
Leave me alone.
All you want.
I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Leave me alone. Please.
Just talk to me for 2 minutes and I'll leave you alone.
Oh, God. It's too damn early for this shit. Leave me alone.
How do you dress like this? What are you a prostitute? I'm serious.
Sir, please leave.
That's okay. I don't care.
Leave me alone.
All you want.
I don't want.
Okay, so you guys, I mean, we've got thousands of recordings. I have probably 36,000 emails representing 36,000 recordings, which 36,000 times that you know of, either a leak or a judge said, this is not okay. This is offensive. It's inappropriate. This is wrong. Tell her beforehand. Make sure she knows about it beforehand. That includes the McNamara email, the harassment email. This society is pushing you back saying, please stop. The same way people were screaming and yelling at Derek Chauvin, please stop. And he continued, just like you, traumatizing everybody watching, upsetting everybody watching, making everybody around angry, resentful. And so when you get leaked on, Mr. Perry, and your privacy, you feel, is invaded, you have invaded mine. And society, by way of your leak or by way of a court order, said, no, I don't think that's cool. I think that's wrong. I think it's inappropriate. We all know it's illegal, and we're not okay with it. And the stuff that you have done for years, for decades, and gotten away with, this time you guys are getting told on. So every time you sit around and go, let's get her kicked out of her house and back to Texas so we can do more to her, to hurt her. And I got that. We got that recording. Somebody said, no, we're not okay with that. That's not cool. We're pushing back. We're not letting that happen. It's wrong. We're pushing back. We're saying no. We're going to make sure she finds out. We're going to make sure a lot of people find out. We're going to make sure the right people find out. And you're seeing things happen you've not seen before. I'm not in love with Charles Perry. He repulses me. I've foregone temporary comforts for a long-term permanent solution that he's not in my life anymore. And that would be either by a court order saying, a protective order that prohibits all contact from all of you, or it goes to the civil cases are being kind of like a foundation or in addition to the criminal case. You don't seem to understand that, and I've said it. I've said it more than once. Because when you break the law in a civil case, now you've committed a crime. And it's just more. We just have more. Whether that be to impede a Supreme Court appeal. I mean, somebody's gone through all of my stuff, other than us. My guys tell me. There's other law enforcement agencies looking at this right now, looking at your shit. And noticing we pulled everything she's got. And there's all these ex parte hearings is one problem. And then you see several hearings that were scheduled, and then all of a sudden everything's dismissed. No explanation. And then the third thing that happen is she'll start to file an appeal, and she'll get it started, and then he takes all her money, and she can't finish it. And it's a pattern now, and you can notice it. So we're seeing patterns with these individuals that are criminals. They're breaking the law. Who do the same thing. On all of these different civil cases that she's got, Mike Neely's case, it's all the same thing. And we see the same thing where one person is drugged, and then there's false information put into a courtroom that leads to an arrest of somebody that shouldn't be in jail. And you guys want me to lie or apologize about what I've said about Mike Neely. All I did really is read what somebody else said. If you think about it, the first responder's deposition said he was drugged. He appeared to be in respiratory distress. He was knocked out, unconscious, can't remember a fucking thing. And we gave him Narcan, and he came to, because we thought his symptoms presented as someone who's been overdosed. We did not find anything in his personal belongings or in Chief Miller's. There's no drugs there. So where did those drugs come from? I'm reading someone else's statements. I'm reading what someone else said. You want me to apologize for reading what someone else testified to in a court of law? Is that what you want me to believe, Mr. Perry? That that's what you're looking for me to do? That you are trying to take my car, you're trying to take my home, so that I will apologize for reading someone else's statement? I don't even have words for that, sir. And if you weren't trying to take my car and my home, and you had stepped up and said we backed the blue, we didn't do that murder. So let's find out who did. We don't want that suspicion on us. We don't want any suspicion on us as to what happened with Cynthia when she's getting sick. So we want a thorough investigation. We don't want to obstruct justice. We don't want to suborn perjury. Let's get all the facts out. You didn't do that. Instead, you're trying to take my home and my car and force me back to Texas so you can do more to me. And every time you recorded, every recording they have that they got from either a wiretap order or a leak was a person, society, pushed back and said, no, we're not okay with that. We're just not fine. It's not fine. It's illegal for a reason. And the more you do to me, the more angry people get at you. It's easier to get that information. So I'm supposed to apologize for reading what the first responder said. For reading what the detective said. No injuries on this guy. Not what a red swollen hand. Not what you'd see, in a guy that just beat someone to death. There was definitely no probable cause to believe he committed a murder. And so there are other law enforcement agencies reviewing all my cases, everything that's in court, everything, and picking out consistent patterns that you guys are doing. That's part of the reason I filed them. Because that contributes to criminal cases in places you don't even know about. You guys are criminals wherever you go, aren't you? Society is pushing you back when you're told on and telling you that's not cool. It's inappropriate. It's wrong. It's illegal. We're not cool with it. We're not okay with it. Now, on my lease, I guess there was a recording, somebody going, her lease is up. My lease would have been extended a lot longer had you not gotten my wallet. So that's duly noted for the record. I've asked you to stay out of my business, didn't I? I don't want to go back to Texas. I won't go back to Texas. I'll sleep under a bridge first. I'll endure a temporary discomfort to achieve a permanent goal that you aren't in my life anymore. I've done that every time I went to court. Every time I didn't get my nails done, I didn't tan, I didn't get the haircut, or I didn't even eat. In order to make copies for court to get the order that I wanted, or something on the docket that will help establish your criminal conduct during civil proceedings for your criminal case. Because permanently you're gone, you're out of my life. You're no longer a danger to society. So if that means I don't eat and I mail something, then I don't eat and I mail something. If that means I'm under a bridge temporarily because the permanent solution is that you're gone, I'm not in Texas. I'm safe. I'm safer under a bridge in Oklahoma than I would be in Texas. You want my ex-husband to take me back to Texas? We all get it. And I've said no. I've said no. Now you're going to have to figure out what to do with my landlord. My landlord is too. Because you both acted in conspiracy to coerce. Now you fix it, and you fix it by tomorrow. Or you're going to wish you had. You're going to have a couple of hours before we fix it. You don't have a choice. You get out of my business. It's not up to you where I live. That lease would have been longer had you not been in my wallet all this time. Do you understand? I'm not giving you a choice. When you're told on all the time, that should let you know you really don't have a choice. Because you're told on a lot. I don't have anything to apologize for with what I've said with Officer Neely. I'm reading what other people said. I'm sorry you don't like that. If you had not been coercing and witness tampering, you wouldn't have suspicion on you right now. Had you done what I said in March 2020, when you offered me a bribe, and my response was no, I don't want your buy-a-lie money. I don't. You know what I want? Which you're not going to give me. You just want to give me what you want. I said no to that. What I said is, you owe me money. You've stolen my money. I want it back. I want Tristan and Fabian up here so I can talk to them. We work things out between us, and then you butt out. Fabian, you have spoken for Fabian more times than I can count, and you are not Fabian's spokesperson. You do the same thing to him. No one speaks for me but me. Nobody speaks for me but me. No one. I did not consent to cameras being in my home. Both you and my landlord did something wrong in putting cameras in my home, Mr. Perry. And society has pushed you back because your guy said, your own guy said, we've never had one figure out we have cameras on them. We've never had one figure out we're causing their problems. I'm not doing that by myself, by the way. People, society, members of law enforcement have said, we're not okay with this. It's inappropriate. Any leak, any judge have said, we're not okay with this. It's inappropriate and illegal, by the way. You go to jail for that. That means everybody says we are not comfortable with it. It's disturbing. It's upsetting us. We're being traumatized watching her go through that. And we have never had one solve a murder we committed. I didn't do it alone. I'm actually reading other people's statements, by the way. That's all really, when it comes down to it, that's all I did. I read the arrest report. I read the first responders' comments. I'm looking at a picture. I'm looking at what everyone said. Those two weren't fighting. Jerry Ridley, Chief Ridley, Tyler Buttram, the mayor of Manford, both of them said it didn't make any sense. Those two were best buddies. They weren't fighting. Well, the reason it didn't make sense is because what they said happened didn't happen. And I'm reading, by the way, I got that from reading the docket, what other people say. So I'm supposed to apologize for Mr. Neely didn't have a mark on him. Did you want me to apologize for that? You want me to apologize for the first responders saying we gave him Narcan because he was overdosed with opioids and nobody found anything in the room? We don't know where they came from. By the way, we didn't take the time to look. I mean, over and over and over, you're asking me to do things that are ridiculous, and everyone knows that. It's not hard to get, when you have a leak, that means society has pushed you back and said, we don't want you guys to do that to her. We're not comfortable with it. Like people screaming at Derek Chauvin, please stop. We're not okay with this. It's not cool for you to do that to someone. And at your age, you ought to be able to put that together by yourself. I shouldn't have to say it. And that, not only do we have to say things over and over and over.
For this, please Please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Leave me alone. Please.
Just talk to me for 2 minutes and I'll leave you alone.
Oh, God. It's too damn early for this shit. Leave me alone.
How do you dress like this? What are you a prostitute? I'm serious.
Sir, please leave.
That's okay. I don't care.
Leave me alone.
All you want.
I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Leave me alone. Please.
Just talk to me for 2 minutes and I'll leave you alone.
Oh, God. It's too damn early for this shit. Leave me alone.
How do you dress like this? What are you a prostitute? I'm serious.
Sir, please leave.
Charles, all your contact is creepy as fuck. You ought to be able to look around you and go, if other people don't do this, maybe I shouldn't either. Maybe there's something wrong with it. Maybe that's why society is pushing me back and saying, we're not okay with this. And I keep getting told on. All your contact is creepy. And I've asked you repeatedly, over and over and over and over and over, to stop contacting me. I don't like it. I'm not in love with you. You disgust me. You guys are disturbing everybody with what you're doing to me. And what I started saying is, in March 2020, when we figured out Mike was drugged, we found that out. I think actually we found out in January. I think I've got an email from January saying he was drugged. And then that's confirmed. So somebody that helps me went over and asked, what happened here? Because we got a case that just hit their desk. So why are they dead now? Why is one dead now? I mean, it just hit their desk. And we got a girl we're worried about that gets tampered with. She's a witness. She's getting tampered with all the time and coerced. Pushed and pressured to lie. She's got, we got a sex thing. Jeff Epstein type deal that we're working on. And society says, yeah, we're not cool with that. So what I said to you then is, you get all that fixed. You get my club filled up with people again, paying customers who are nice, not assholes, and get Mike home and explain that, of course you didn't do that. Of course you didn't do that murder. You don't want that suspicion on you. So let's find out who did. And clearly Mike didn't do it. And where would you be if you had listened to me then? Not trying to cover up all the shit you've done since then. Demanding I lie. We're going to make you be homeless and carless unless you lie. Or apologize for reading off the docket somebody else's statement in a murder of a police officer, police chief. That's what I'm supposed to apologize for? That's what you didn't like what I said? I read somebody else's statement. I mean, this isn't stuff I came up with out of my ass. This is stuff I read off of a docket in a court proceeding. And everyone knows, had I testified, Mike Neely would be home right now. In fact, I told you, that reporter said that. We have 12 helping us. Because sometimes media skews things. Or there might be a time that they want something out. Something, it may not have been even be noted that it has anything to do with this, but it'll have something to do with you. So when that day comes when they can report it, they'll report it. And one of them told our guy, these men are about to be the most hated men in America. And you know why I know that? Because I hate them. I hate them for what they're doing to Cynthia and Mike. And that is pushback from society, telling you it's not okay. It's not cool what you're doing. These guys that said to, that's not his girlfriend. I don't care what he says. That's not his girlfriend. I have a girlfriend. I don't dare call her family and friends and butt in like that. Cross those boundaries. If I do, it's to find out what she wants for Christmas or her birthday. Not to ask them to get information on her car so I can take it away from her. That's not what people do who care about each other. That's hideous. I'm not comfortable with it. I'm traumatized right now. I'm upset by what he's trying to do to her. It's not okay with me. And I'm telling everybody. At your age, you ought to know. That's what that is. At your age, you ought to know. Every leak, every time you're quoted, every time you're caught trying to plan something to hurt me, every time you talk about taking my car, wrecking my car, where's her title? Where's her card? Get a look at her driver's license. Have her pulled over. Every time you call up here and ask a police officer to pull me over and do something to me, it makes them uncomfortable most times. I can't say that it does every time. Most times it does. Most times it does. The 2 officers that came into Sensations in August 2015 and said he told us to just find something. Those 2 and a dancer friend of mine, all 3 of them were deeply disturbed. When you ask them, find something, we can arrange a false arrest and put her in jail until she decides she likes this monster who would do something like that to her. It disturbed everybody. They talked. And they talked a lot. You traumatized them. They're telling you the same as what was being told to Derek Chauvin. Stop it. Stop. And he traumatized everybody that was watching. So are you. And at your age, you ought to know that is society pushing back, saying, no, you're not going to do that. It's wrong. It's illegal. It's inappropriate. Stop. That's how we get that information. You didn't know that? You can't put that together in your heads? When you got a leak, when we find out beforehand, you made people uncomfortable enough to talk about it. And talk about it a lot. And talk about it to the right people. They're not cool with it. Charles, I hate your contact to me in any form at all. Sir, I hate it. It disgusts me. You are not hot. You are not sexy. You're creepy. And you're gross. You have people pushing back, telling you to stop it. And you can't get that? That's what that is? Every time we find out beforehand? I get the Fabian puzzle. When I'm in jail, you have to use these bags to put your dirty clothes in. You also use the same bags to carry your food from the commissary. I heard y'all say, what's it like, Cynthia, to have to put your food in the same bag you put your dirty underwear in? I got a different bag. I just happened to be staying in a room that had 2. I heard you there. I heard Mr. Powell sit you down and tell you, are you sure this isn't personal? Is there any way this could be personal? Charles, she was just a display. She just lost her house. And you looked him in the eye and you lied. My guys can get things, they can do a lot of things you know nothing about. And we don't owe you an explanation. No one does. What's happening is you're being pushed back. You're being told, this is not okay with us. We're not cool with it. It's wrong. It's illegal. It's inappropriate. We're not okay with it. So we're going to tell on you. We're going to tell so she knows beforehand what you're trying to do to her that's making even us upset. It's making even us disturbed. We're not cool with it. I don't want to see her starving to death. I don't want to see her homeless. I don't want to see her without a car. I don't want to see her get pulled over fucking all the time by cops just because you called them and told, that's what you want. Trying to intimidate her and push her and shove her and force her and rape her and rape her and rape her, and everybody screaming at you, get off of her, every time you're told on. And you can't figure that out? At your age, you ought to be able to figure that out.
Leave me alone! Please!
Just talk to me for 2 minutes.
First, let me say that I'm happy that the lady in this video is okay. Second, let me break down what rape culture is. Rape culture is the fact that that man felt that he was entitled to some of this woman's time just because he said, let me talk to you for 2 minutes. Doesn't matter if it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes. If she said no, no means no. Rape culture is the comments that she has on her video about how she should have just spoke to him or dressed differently. Rape culture is me taking the heat for calling out other men for their terrible behavior. Rape culture is trying to explain stuff as, oh, it's just locker room talk. No, it's not locker room talk. You should talk the same way wherever you are. We all know that rape is not about sex, it's about power. So for you to force yourself on somebody, even if you're just talking to them, is disgusting, dude.
Leave me alone. I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone.
Hey, men, leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them. especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to, but even when they're not. Unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumbass, then leave her the fuck alone. Find a date a different way. Okay?
Do you honestly think me moving twice, suing you 3 times, is enthusiastic, showing of, I want to talk to you? No. No, sir. I do not want to talk to you. I've done these podcasts. I've emailed your attorneys and asked repeatedly for years, please get your client off me. He's not in compliance with the law. He makes my skin crawl. I don't like him. I'm not in love with him. He's disgusting to me. You're disgusting to everyone, or you wouldn't be getting caught like this much. Every time you try to do something to me, every time you guys get on the phone and call, have her pulled over, get that car from her, cause a mechanical problem, oil viscosity, over and over. When's she going to back up over to the car dealer? When's she going to talk to Mo? Over and over and over and over. You're caught and you're told on, and you're caught and you're recorded, and you're told on and you're recorded, and you're caught and you're told on, because people are pushing you back saying stop. Just stop. And at your age, you ought to know that. All your conduct, all your contact is disgusting and disturbing people. And you are being stopped when you're told on. And you're dumb and you don't know that. And I've said this, I'm repeating myself over and over and over and over. You want to buy a lie. You want to force me to lie. You want to buy a lie. You want to coerce a lie. You want me to lie. I know. We've all heard it over and over and over and over. You have made your point, and I said no. One time, sir, is all that should be said. And because I'm having to repeat myself, you're getting told on even more than you were ever before. Notice the increase in frequency of me quoting you and us catching you when you make my life very hard. That is society pushing you back. The same way everybody screamed and yelled at Derek Chauvin, stop it. And he kept going, and he caused his death. And you do the same thing. Death of a person, death of a major catastrophic loss like a home or a car, or a job or income, or a relationship. Death can happen in a lot of different ways. It can happen a part of your life. In fact, they say when people get divorced, they go through the same grieving process as when someone dies, even if they want the divorce. Because life as you knew it ended, and you grieve that, even though there's parts of it you didn't like. So you go through the grieving process and you move on. Even the person that wants the divorce goes through the grieving process, because part of your life as you had it and you knew it, and your routines and your habits and the things that you did every day, it's over all of a sudden. Like someone died. So these things happen, but you as a grown-ass man, all of you, should understand that when you cause the death of something important in someone else's life, you're going to cause some animosity. They're going to hate you. And when people start finding out more and more and more and more, and it's snowballing and piling up, you are being stopped. Society is stopping you. They're telling you, we're not okay with this. We're going to make sure she finds out. It's not cool that you're doing this to another person. We're not okay with it. It's disturbing us. We're upset by it. You're traumatizing us. The same way all those people were traumatized who had to sit there and watch Derek Chauvin murder that man. As everybody's screaming, stop it. This is no different. You are trying to murder part of my life that is important to me, and you know that. And you're doing it intentionally, you're doing it willfully, and you have people mad as hell at you right now, more than ever. Notice the increase in frequency of I'm typing up what you say. Those police officers that told me in August 2015, we're not okay with this. That doesn't mean he won't find an asshole who will do it, but not us. We're not okay with it. We're pushing back. Society pushing back. Telling you this is wrong, this is illegal, it's inappropriate, and we're not going to tolerate it. We're not putting up with it. We're not okay with it. It is not cool. You are not sexy, Perry. You disgust everybody. When you're told on, that's pushback from society. And you gotta know that at your age. And it should only have to be said one time. And I've talked to you. I've said what I think. I've heard what you think. What else is there to talk about? You don't listen. You're not listening. You're forcing yourself on me against my will. That's the crime. You're violating my privacy. That's the crime. Get over it and move on. I don't like you. There's nothing to like. I'm not going to help you. I have foregone things. I'm about to be sleeping under a fucking bridge rather than be in Texas or anywhere near you. I don't like you. I'm going to go through some temporary discomfort for a permanent resolution where you're not in my life ever again. And I'm fine with that. Because guess what happens? The more you do to me, the people in my life, the people that are helping me, boy, they get pissed off. People start working hard. We have some people that drag their feet, that quit dragging their feet every time I'm without electricity or food or a place to live. You stimulate anger and animosity like a motherfucker when you do stuff like that to me. You're not getting away with this time. All of a sudden, you guys get told on, and you didn't try to figure out why that might be. It never happened before, but it's happening now. And you didn't sit down and go, why is it now happening now? What's going on with her that things are different? We're seeing things happen we've not seen before. What kind of dummy are you? All of you. I want no contact with you. All of your contact with me makes my skin crawl, pisses us off. It's disgusting and it's creepy. You're nasty. You're gross. And it ought to occur to you that other people don't do what you do for a reason. You ought to be able to put that together in your head at your age. This is how people see you. You're being told on. That's people, society, pushing back, saying, please stop that. We're telling her so she finds out beforehand. Because she needs to do something to protect herself. So you can't do that to her. We don't like watching it.
It's not clever. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage behavior. And you're a garbage person if you do it. I don't care if it's in public. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't have the right to her. And you need to leave her alone. And this is bacon.
That's okay. I don't care.
Leave me alone.
All you want.
I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone.
Hey, men. Leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them. Especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to. But even when they're not, unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumb ass, then leave her the fuck alone. Find a date a different way. Okay? It's not clever. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage behavior. And you're a garbage person if you do it. I don't care if it's in public. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't have the right to her. And you need to leave her alone. And this is bacon.
And how many times have we repeated that? How many times, Mr. Perry, have I said, stop contacting me? I hate it. You disgust me. You're disturbing people, and that's why you're getting told on. You're making everybody very uncomfortable with what you're doing, and that's why you're getting told on. You're the ones that said it hadn't happened before, but it is happening now. And you have not sat down and tried to figure out why that might be. Why don't other people peep, hack, poke, bother, take their call? Why do other people not act like you? It's not hot, it's not sexy, it's not cute, it's disgusting. You're nasty, you're gross. I don't like to hear from you. I'm not in love with you. Stop contacting me, I don't like it. That's what I have to say. You're violating my rights and wishes. Awful. In an awful, disgusting, fucked up way. Creepy as shit. Creepy as shit. And you're being pushed back by society who is saying, we're gonna leak. Or I signed a court order for you to find out what they're doing because they're dangerous. And we're pushing back and saying, you will stop. We're going to make sure she finds out beforehand, not after. Charles, shut the hell up. Shut up. You're told on. For the first time in your life, you are being leaked on and told on and told on and told on. In 12 years, you have no date, no chance of a date. Ever. Not with me. Write it down. I'm tired of repeating myself. I said no. And the more you push me, and the more you push and coerce, it's stalking, it's rape. It's not a date. It's not hot. It's not sexy. It's pathetic, and it's garbage, just like he said. When you guys get told on and told on and told on and told on, that is society telling you to stop it. Just the same way they were screaming and yelling at Derek Chauvin to stop it. And he kept going, and you keep going. And you're traumatizing everybody watching you. And you're making everybody hate your guts. And it's increasing in frequency, the number of these recordings we get. And if you can't count, get somebody to help you. A special ed teacher. And try to get somebody who specializes in Alzheimer's, or actually, I asked the shrink after the last podcast. I was like, remind me of what the terminology is for a doctor of someone who's older. Geriatric specialist. That's what she said. So, please, I forgot. I forgot. So I apologize. But listen, I can't apologize for reading what somebody else's testimony was in Mr. Neely's case. You're not owed that either. If you didn't do it, don't act like you did it. Because every time you try to take something from me and force yourself on me and force a lie and coerce and witness tamper, I assert my equal protection to Title 18 of the United States Code, Section 1512 and 1513, that prohibits all such conduct. When you're told on, that means society is pushing back and telling you to stop it. Or I wouldn't find out beforehand. And you need to write that down, and you need to sit down and figure out why you keep getting caught this time. People are disgusted and disturbed by what you're doing to me. That's them telling you it's not cool. We're not okay with it. We're not okay with it. Cut it the hell out.
That's okay. I don't care.
Leave me alone.
All you want.
I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone.
Hey, men, leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them. Especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to. But even when they're not, unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumbass, then leave her the fuck alone. Find a date a different way. Okay? It's not clever. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage behavior. And you're a garbage person if you do it. I don't care if it's in public. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't have the right to her. And you need to leave her alone. And this is Bacon.
That's okay. I don't care.
Leave me alone.
All you want.
I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone.
Hey, men, leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them. Especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to. But even when they're not, unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumbass, then leave her the fuck alone. Find a date a different way. Okay? It's not clever. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage behavior. And you're a garbage person if you do it. I don't care if it's in public. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't have the right to her. And you need to leave her alone. And this is Bacon.
Leave me alone. Please.
Just talk to me for 2 minutes.
First, let me say that I'm happy that the lady in this video is okay. Second, let me break down what rape culture is. Rape culture is the fact that that man felt that he was entitled to some of this woman's time just because he said, let me talk to you for 2 minutes. Doesn't matter if it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes. If she said no, no means no. Rape culture is the comments that she has on her video about how she should have just spoke to him or dressed differently. Rape culture is me taking the heat for calling out other men for their terrible behavior. Rape culture is trying to explain stuff as, oh, it's just locker room talk. No, it's not locker room talk. You should talk the same way wherever you are. We all know that rape is not about sex, it's about power. So for you to force yourself on somebody, even if you're just